Once upon a time, in a small American town, there lived a hard-working man named Robert. Robert ran a small business repairing bicycles. He wasn't rich, but through sheer effort, he kept food on the table for his family. Robert had a son named Ethan. Unlike his father, Ethan wasn't very interested in hard work. He preferred playing video games, hanging out with friends, and dreaming of an easy life. Robert worried about his son. He wanted Ethan to understand the value of persistence, creativity, and belief in himself. One day, Robert decided it was time to teach Ethan a lesson, one that no school could ever teach. The first challenge, Robert called Ethan over and handed him an old faded t-shirt. "Son," he asked gently, "how much do you think this t-shirt is worth?" Ethan glanced at it. "Honestly, Dad, maybe $1. Robert smiled. "All right, I want you to take this shirt and sell it. Not for $1. Try to get 2. Go to the marketplace and see what happens." Ethan frowned. $2? Who would pay that? But he didn't want to disappoint his father, so he gave it a try. At the market, people laughed. Some ignored him. Others said, "Kid, that shirt isn't worth a dime." But Ethan refused to quit. After hours of effort, a kind man finally bought it for $2 just to encourage the boy. Bursting with pride, Ethan ran home shouting, "Dad, I sold it! I sold it for $2! Robert nodded with a smile. "Good job, son. You've just proven that with effort, even something ordinary can become valuable." The second challenge the next day, Robert handed him another old t-shirt. This time Robert said, "Sell it for $20. Ethan's eyes widened. $20? For this? That's impossible. Robert looked at him calmly. Nothing's impossible when you use your mind. Ethan sat quietly, thinking. Then an idea sparked. He remembered a friend who printed cartoon images on clothes. Ethan asked his friend to print a popular cartoon character on the shirt. With the design finished, Ethan went to a park near a private school. Children from wealthy families were playing there. One boy spotted the cartoon shirt and begged his parents to buy it. Within minutes, Ethan sold the shirt for $20. Beaming with joy, Ethan ran home. "Dad, look! I sold it for $20. Robert hugged him and said warmly, "See what happens when you get creative?" The third challenge, a week later, Robert handed Ethan one more shirt. "Son, now try to sell this for $200. Ethan was stunned. "200? Dad, nobody in their right mind will pay that much." Robert looked into his son's eyes. "I believe you can do it. Now, do you believe in yourself?" For the first time, Ethan felt a spark of determination. "Yes, I think I can." Just then, he overheard news on the radio a famous Hollywood actress was coming to town for a movie premiere. An idea struck him. He hurried to the event, squeezing through the massive crowd. People pushed and shoved, but Ethan didn't give up. He finally reached the actress and said, "Ma'am, would you please sign my t-shirt?" Amused by his courage, she smiled and signed it. Ethan now held in his hands an autographed shirt by a Hollywood star. He rushed to the marketplace, holding it high. Exclusive autographed t-shirt by a Hollywood actress. "Only $200, he shouted. At first, people stared in disbelief. Then the bidding started. 200, 400, 800. The price kept rising. Finally, the shirt sold for $2,000. Ethan couldn't believe it. He ran home breathless. "Dad, Dad!" "I did it. I sold the t-shirt for $2,000. Robert's eyes filled with tears of pride. He placed his hands on Ethan's shoulders and asked softly, "Son, what have you learned?" "The lesson." Ethan thought for a moment and replied, "I've learned that if I believe in myself and don't give up, I can find a way to achieve anything. Even the impossible becomes possible." Robert smiled through his tears. "That's right. Just like you added value to those shirts, you can add value to your own life. Through hard work, creativity, and self-belief, you can become someone greater than you ever imagined." The bigger message, dear friends, this story reminds us of something powerful. Life will give us challenges that seem impossible, just like Ethan's t-shirts. But if we use our creativity, determination, and courage, we can transform ordinary moments into extraordinary achievements. Too often, people underestimate themselves. They say, "I can't do this," or "It's too hard." But the truth is, the only real limits are the ones we place on ourselves. Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb, once said, "I have not failed. I have just found 1,000 ways that don't work." Each failure brought him closer to success. Just like Edison, just like Ethan, we must see obstacles not as barriers, but as stepping stones. Closing inspiration. So ask yourself today, what old t-shirt are you holding in your life? Is it a dream you've given up on? A goal that feels impossible? Remember this story. Remember that you have the power to add value, to grow, and to rise higher than you ever thought possible. Believe in yourself. Even if you fail 100 times, each attempt makes you stronger, smarter, and closer to victory. The value of your life is not decided by others. Just like the t-shirt, its true worth is what you decide it to be. So never give up, keep trying, keep believing. And one day, you'll look back and realize that what once felt impossible became your greatest triumph. Because where there is a will, there is always a way. And just like Ethan discovered, the greatest power in the world is the power of self-belief.